great pleasure that I extend a welcome to you all to the new Phenomenology of Religion as Philosophical Anthropology conference. The conference has come out of our reading group, Readings in Phenomenology, for many years. It's been going on for many years, although I heard the other day that Alex Samley in Manchester has a Reading in Phenomenology group that's been going way before our group too. So that's interesting, I thought. So it's come out of that group, plus my own reflections on phenomenology and discussion with colleagues at the Oxford Centre for Hindu Studies, discussion with Oliver Davies too, and colleagues at Campion Hall. So they will be giving presentations in the coming days. The conference is co-hosted by the Oxford Centre for Hindu Studies and Campion Hall, and it would not have come about to such a high degree of specification without my executive assistant, Tanya Jacobson, who I thank profusely for her work here in creating the website and bringing the event to actuality. And I also thank all the speakers and you, the audience, for signing up to the conference, especially as we are living in such different time frames from America to Japan. And I'm sure you won't be disappointed in the proceedings of the coming days. Now, the phenomenology of religion has come under sustained critique, mostly from a critical theory perspective, from critical religion that originated at my old department in Stirling with Tim Fitzgerald and others, and what we might call a social constructivist perspective. And I myself have been critical of the phenomenology of religion in a book that I did over 20 years ago now, Beyond Phenomenology. But nevertheless, it seems to me that the phenomenology of religion is still an important philosophical approach to religion and religions, or religion and worldviews, as they now call the subject area in many schools in the UK. But an approach that should go beyond mere description and that should address issues of philosophical, historical, and cultural concern, and an approach that emphasizes the humanum, the rooting of religion in the human species. Now, that statement alone is controversial and may raise the hackles of some theologians on the one hand that will wish to challenge the view that religion is rooted in the humanum on the grounds of some other power intervening in history. And on the other hand, it might raise the hackles of some contemporary trends, such as vital materialism, that would wish to deprivilege the human in favor of a more world-centered and species-inclusive approach to topics of meaning and transcendence. So the current conference will raise and address some of these issues, and I hope that the consequence may be some reinvigoration of the phenomenology of religion that takes seriously the idea of what we might call verticality in human experience and human history. Now, we know about the bad side of religious traditions, how they have propagated gender and racial inequalities, how they have sometimes been destructive of human rights and destructive of the integrity of the human body, and so on. But these institutions and civilizations that they have generated have also been the resource for human meaning, art and architecture, literature, and human practices that have enhanced our communication and sense of purpose, and have even generated economic systems and technological development. In my own view, the phenomenology of religion is crucial for understanding these great juggernauts rolling through history that we have named religion. But not only this, it is important for understanding the nature of the human and raises questions about a common human nature, whether there is one or not, what is shared and not shared between cultures and languages, and raises philosophical questions about truth, life, existence, and the human future. While what we might call a first level phenomenology of religion generates description of religious traditions, and some 30 to 80 years ago it was doing this in the work of Eliade and Smart, for example, a second level phenomenology raises questions of human meaning, significance, and truth. It asks questions It asks the question that my old teacher, John Bowker, never ceases from asking: what are the constraints that control an event into its particularity? What are the constraints that control an event into its particularity? And the specification of constraint or level of constraint is one of the enterprises that the phenomenology of religion can do. But we still need description, a first level. And here, if phenomenology is letting be seen that which shows itself, a kind of Heideggerian understanding of phenomenology, how do we let what shows itself be seen? And it seems to me that one response to this is through philology. Philology and the models it generates allows what shows itself to be seen. There's also ethnography, paying attention to the ethnos, as it were. Now, quite the contrary to the criticism of philology as being on the leash of colonialism, philology is the disruption and challenge to power structures in giving voice to the other. So it's quite the opposite, I think. So if you wish to promote the decolonization of the curriculum, which we hear a lot of at the moment, then promote philology. In brief, only a phenomenology of religion is equipped to address these kinds of concerns because of its paying attention to what shows itself and its openness not only to indigenous claims and accounts of reality, but also its openness to the ontic sciences. Well, at least now, I don't think that was always the case. And indeed, Henk de Vries will be addressing this issue in his lecture later. So our conference on the phenomenology of religion as philosophical anthropology will offer reflection and examples of the centrality of religion for the human experiment. In the coming days, we'll have lectures from a number of perspectives from philosophers, theologians, and historians of religion who will address the problematics we have identified from a number of angles.